Welcome to Her New Lens, the podcast that invites you to shift your perspective and rediscover the power of seeing life, love, and yourself in an empowering new way. I'm Trisha Rose Stone, a Wayfinder life coach and guide for women who are ready to find the love they seek, starting within. Together, we'll explore spiritual insights, hard-won life lessons, and the transformative power of perspective. Let's begin. I want to start today with a little bit more background about why I have this podcast, how I started coaching, and what my inspiration for this theme is, and how it came to be. I'm going to go back about 6 years. I remember I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a quote by Anais Nin that said, "We don't see things as they are. We see them as we are." And it hit me, it jumped out at me. I couldn't fully grasp it, so I just took a screenshot and put it into a special folder I have on my phone for things like this that I know I need to look at again. So I would look at it every now and then. About 2 years ago, I was sitting at the Boston Athenaeum, the library on Beacon Street, and I'm at a table and I look to my right and there's this little book by Anais Nin. And once again, I grab the book, I look at it, and there's the quote. "We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are." And I really let myself think about this and how powerful this is, because it's so easy to forget that we have so much power to see everything in a different way. And it's so easy to fall into patterns and get trapped in these thoughts and constantly reliving things in the past, and to not stop and think, wait a minute, I have the ability to see that differently. I have that ability. And that's what this podcast is about. And that's what my coaching practice is about, which I'll get into more shortly. It's about really claiming the power that you have to change the way you see things and really allow those things to change, which leads me to my second quote I was going to share by Wayne Dyer, who's one of my favorite teachers of all time. And he said, "If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change." It's wild. I mean, it really is wild. I think of an example of a room full of 50 women, and they're all looking at a photograph of a child running along a beach at sunset. And every single one of these women sees a different thing. Some are only focusing on the sunset. Some are really focused on the child's age, and they're reminded of a joyful time in their life when they were taking care of a child, they had a child that age. Another woman sees that and feels sadness and longing for that time in her life and wishes she could go back to it. I mean, it is endless the way each woman sees this image. And now take that even further and look at just life, looking out the window, looking at a sunset, looking at a beautiful salad, anything. Everyone sees it differently. We can work with the lenses we are wearing, and we can alter them in a way that's more aligned with where we want to be. And I think it's so empowering, and I think it's so important, and this is what has led me down this path. A funny personal story is, when I was in college, I was a literature major, and I just didn't know what I was going to do in the future. I had a professor that I had a good relationship with, and he told me not to do that. He said, I don't recommend that. I would do something else because it's really difficult to deal with, and work and getting jobs and getting paid and whatever. So I took a career test, an aptitude test, and optometry came out number one, and I had no idea about that. And I just went and shadowed an optometrist, and I said, oh, I'll do that. So I ended up becoming an optometrist and practicing for 20 years, doing a similar thing as far as I was helping my patients to see more clearly. So I'm very familiar with lenses. Like, this is what I've done my whole life, is working with lenses and helping people to see more clearly. And then life threw me some unexpected surprises and changes, and I ended up selling my practice and moving across the country with my new husband 8 years ago. And I ended up finding myself in the same area, working with the idea of lenses, but in a very different way, and actually a more deeper, meaningful way, which is thinking about the lenses that you wear and understanding how much they influence your entire world. So I find it really fascinating. And to talk for a moment about the blog, there was a piece I wrote in the very beginning about how do you see the world. That was the name of it. Taking a look at the lenses you wear and how they influence your life. I was listening to a podcast by Sahara Rose. She has the Your Highest Self podcast. And she was saying how Deepak Chopra had told her that at age 7 or 8, children are imprinted with basically lenses that they see everything through. And so it starts really young that we have this imprint of beliefs that comes from the family, that come from the home we're in, that come from the life we have. And it just continues to go on throughout time. And we have some surprisingly great chapters, then we have some heartbreaking, difficult chapters. And all of those experiences are creating the lenses that we wear. They're very multifaceted. They're not simple. There's lots of nuances to the lenses. And the good news is that we have the power to change them and to influence the way we see, even if it's just 1 degree at a time, but moving in the direction we want to be. And that is the breakthrough that I'm so grateful for, because it gives me the tools and the ability to help myself through difficult times, and also to help my clients to get where they want to go by looking at how they're seeing a situation, and through different tools and work that we do to go through that inner process of changing their perspective enough that they feel open and ready, and they can magnetize the relationship that they really want. And that is the ultimate goal. So it's magnetizing whatever it is that you want, whether it's the relationship or something new in your life, or just having an easier time with a transition that you're going through. This is a tool that's useful in all areas. I want to share another quote that is related to this, which is by Viktor Frankl. And he says, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." So the way I look at it is that space is this new lens. It's a quick reframe, like, how am I going to see this? And it's a pause to think about it. How am I going to see this? And then really refining it and having it become almost a superpower that you have, because you know in a split second you can change your view on a topic. You can change your perspective on that situation and have a higher outcome and a higher end result. So there's just endless ways that this tool can be used, and this concept of really identifying how we see things and really seeing that we can change the way we see things. So I am so excited that you're here. I will be publishing 1 podcast a week, so stay tuned. I want you to see things as you are and as the highest possible dreams that you have for yourself and for your life, and to meet those dreams and to magnetize them and to live them every day. You can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, all of my links are below. So I look forward to seeing you in the next episode, and have a great rest of your week. Bye.